Welcome to Ask Earl Anything. This is the show where your questions make the show. If I don't have questions, I don't have a show. Now, this is for December 2021. This is actually interesting because I'm lying to you about questions. I didn't get any questions since the last show. I've been getting a lot less questions on my videos because most of you who follow me for years have asked most of the questions you want to ask. So the validity of Ask Earl Anything, I wonder it some days. But this has also become my checkpoint with those of you that are my subscribers and those of you that are my friends and those of you that follow me. And I do talk about different topics and things that every once in a while somebody new finds. So today I'm going to talk to you about a few things. For December, there's some new stuff coming up in the new year. I want to talk a little bit about where we're going. So a little bit of a channel redirect is going on right now. As you can probably tell, maybe you can't tell, I still keep putting out drum covers. I did pick two classic questions to deal with. One is kind of a question that I kind of got asked. I kind of answered it to the guys, so I don't expect them to follow me or watch me on this. But it's a question I get asked often. And then the other question was something that I think I may have answered, but I may not have. So I may have missed it. So I'm doing it again. And I want to alert you to some new things that are in my gear realm these days. So let's start with the gear. We'll work our way over to the. I was doing a little Jeff Porcaro video thing, you know, that little the garlic getting to you kind of thing. That was for a moment there. Anyhow, let's get into the show a little bit. So let's talk about some gear. First off, the concert tom kit. The reason I'm sitting at the concert tom kit is I have an addition of a couple more toms to the concert tom kit. Now, one of the things I've been looking for since I got these concert toms, and the history of these concert toms is quite simple. I was friends with a guy who ran DMR custom drums. We're still friends. His name's Dan Rotelli. He just doesn't do drums anymore, doesn't build drums. But he built me a couple snare drums. This is one of them that's sitting on the kit today. This is my, it's called the Duke. A lot of people wonder about this snare drum. This looks like a Radio King, but it's actually called the Duke. It's a DMR. Solid walnut 7x14 drum. Originally came with die-cast tubes. I've put on the straight edge tubes, which really give it a classic kind of Radio King kind of vibe to it. And I've really appreciated using this for the last year or so with the straight edge hoops. I still have the die cast. Right now they're on my acrylite. But Dan at DMR built me two snare drums that were my snare drums. This was one of them, 7x14, and the other one was a 6.5x14 cast aluminum snare drum called the Hammer. So I got one called the Hammer. He called this one the Duke. He named it. He signed it, called it the Duke #1. Only one ever built. It really does have a Radio King kind of vibe, and I kind of dig the snare drum. But I bought some concert toms from him when he lived in West Palm Beach. And he had his little drum shop down here, and he was selling on eBay. And he had some Pearl concert toms. It was a 13, 14, 15, 16, and a 10-inch tom. He didn't have a 12. He didn't have an 8. He didn't have a 6. So I've been on a quest for a 8, 10, 8, 12, and 6-inch tom from the day I got the concert toms. They were originally white, but I took the white covering off because they were all ripped up. So I found that the fiberglass look was kind of cool, and that's what I went with. So in that process, a couple months after I bought those concert toms, I found a 8 and a 10 white concert tom that I purchased with a stand. Because the other thing was, well, actually, there was no stand. It was 8 and a 10 concert tom without a stand, but I had the stand because I had the 13, 14, 15, 16 on stands. So I bought an 8 and a 10 that gave me a second 8-inch tom, a second 10-inch tom, and one 8-inch tom. And it was that way for a long time here. Matter of fact, most of the drum covers I've done on this concert tom kit had that 8, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16. Those were the sizes. They'd be bounced in and out. Last year, I was looking for a 6-inch tom, and I realized I'm not going to find a 6-inch fiberglass concert tom Pearl that's going to match my kit or not cost me $700. So with that in mind, I found this Octobon, Orphan Octobon hanging around. I said, you know what? I'm going to buy the Orphan Octobon. It works quite well as a 6-inch tom. You know, if I tune it up, it gets the higher pitch. You know, it just kind of works. So I've had that for almost a year now. And about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, I bought a 12-inch tom and another 10-inch tom. So now I have 3 10-inch toms. So this 10-inch tom is 8 by 10. So I've got a 6.5 by 10 times 2, and I got an 8 by 10. And the cost of this 12-inch tom was $89. With shipping, it cost me over $100, of course, and tax. But what was included with it was the 10-inch 8 by 10 concert tom. So with that in tow, I pretty much have all from 6 to 16 on fiberglass concert toms. So my quest for this kit is to eventually find a fiberglass bass drum and possibly a floor tom, either a 16 or a 14 by 14 or a 16 by 18 floor tom would be fine. Either any of those 3 floor toms would work. And bass drum size, anything from an 18 to a 24 would work. A few years ago, I found a 26. I just couldn't ship it. It cost me more. The drum was $100, and I found it in Charleston, South Carolina in 2016, I think it was. 15 or 16. I found it for $100, but it was going to cost me $150 to ship. So I said, nah, don't need it that bad. So I never got that drum. But my Gretsch look-alike Ludwig bass drum that I've been using forever sounds great, works well. I'm contemplating covering these toms after watching Chadwick Perry do it and an AR drummer, but I don't really have the measuring skill set that you really require to cut up anything, even if it's cheap enough and I can make mistakes. So I haven't decided to do that yet, but if it was simple enough, I might try it. So I might have to try it on a drum to see if it can work and if I can make it happen. And buy a good T-square and some good knives with blades. That's usually my problem. But now that I've got the 12 and this new 10, you're going to see even more of the concert tom kit. I really enjoy it. Right now it's 8. Right now I got 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and I got the 15-inch tom as a floor tom. So I've been using this on some covers. I've used it on, I think it was a Foreigner tune and a couple other tunes I did it on. So double vision was definitely done on this kit. Now it had the other mount on it because I bought a rims mount. I had the 10-inch rims mount. I didn't have the 12. So I had to buy a 12-inch rims mount. I found that cheap enough. So now I've got all of them on rims mounts except for one 10-inch tom, an 8-inch tom, and this 6-inch tom. And I have enough stands I could set them all up without a problem and really just wrap the whole kit. And one day you're going to see the 12 here, 13 here, 14, 15, maybe the 16 as the floor tom, and then I'll do 6, 8, 10. You know, I don't know which 10 I'll use. But having a lot of fun with the kit. I really dig it for what I do when I do a lot of the 70s, 80s music, and I have a lot of fun with it. So I just wanted to give you the update on the concert tom kit. I thought that would be kind of something to talk about. Another thing I wanted to give you an update about is I get a lot of comments about duct tape or gaff tape I've been using for a couple years now. The black gaff tape. Nobody likes to see it. Now, a few years back, I did something on gel clings. It's a pretty famous video of mine, one of my early videos from 2017. And I went to Target and I bought 5 gel cling packs, holiday packs. And basically I had moon gel for 4 or 5 years. The problem with those gel clings is they basically get kind of sticky, gooey, weird. I have to throw them away eventually. Mine were getting really bad for a while there. Now, moon gel costs you about almost $10 for 6 pieces now. They used to be 4 pieces for $5. They've added 2 and jacked the price closer to $10 in most places. So, I don't know, you can get it cheap as $8, I'm sure, some places. But moon gel is great. I love moon gel. but it goes too. It goes bad too, so that's another problem. I've had that issue with Moon Gel. And the blue color leaves a stain on heads. So, and I found that with the gel clings too, they leaves a stain on heads. So I was on Amazon the other day and I saw some new gels. And I thought they were exactly like Moon Gel, but they're not. And I'm going to tell you about them because I got a deal on them. I think they were like 48 pieces for $9.99, as I believe is what it was. So anyhow, these are the new gels, okay? They're not sticky on one side, they're sticky on the other side. So what I'm trying to figure out is how long they're going to last before they pop off. So right now I've got this clear gel cling on every one of these toms, right? All of them. And it works just like Moon Gel. And now the question is, how long will they last? I think they look cooler. It looks like I got clear heads if you're not really paying attention, like a lot of you don't. Because I know that I get lots of interesting questions. If you're not really paying attention, you may think it's clear head and they don't even notice it's got a gel on it. But I bought 48 for $10. So right there, that's, what is it, 50 cents a piece? No, maybe less than that, isn't it? 10 cents a piece. Pretty darn close to 10 cents a piece. So I thought it was worth it. Now, are they the best? I'm not sure yet. Are they as good as Moon Gel? Not sure yet. Do they do what Moon Gel does? Yes. Do they look better than gaff tape? Probably. Does that mean I'll never use gaff tape again? No. I love gaff tape. Gaff tape has a place. You get a little different muting sound with gaff tape. So just be honest with you on that. And I bought another roll of gaff tape because gaff tape covers a multitude of sins. I enjoy using it. But I thought the gel clings were worth it. Or these, whatever they call them, gels made somewhere, probably in China somewhere. So I'm using these right now. I don't endorse them. I don't get, I'm endorsing them, I guess, technically, by talking about them. But I don't have an endorsement with them, meaning they don't give me anything for it. Just thought I'd turn you on to it. But if you're looking for drum dampeners, there's lots of drum dampeners out there on Amazon. One of them is the Snare weight. I've been wanting to buy one, but $30 for a Snare weight just hasn't done it for me. So I bought these instead, cheaper, and can put them on more drums. And I've got plenty of them left over. If anything goes bad, probably for about 6 months to a year, maybe longer. So we'll see what happens with this, but that's that. I got a question about hi-hats. Let me see who it was that asked me the question. It was the other day. I thought that was a good question. It was John McPherson. Thank you, John, for the question. He said, do I own any 2002 hi-hats? Because you see all these 2002 crash cymbals. Now, today I've got Giant Beats up here, and I've got a 2002 Ride. But I don't have a set of 2002 hi-hats. I'm looking at a set, but again, buying another set of hi-hats doesn't make any sense. I have quite a few pairs of Paiste hi-hats. I've got a set of 14-inch Rude hi-hats from 1984 that I've had for a long time. My wife bought them for me when we bought our first house, had a few bucks left over from the sale that is still expendable at that point. And she bought them for my birthday, and I played those Rude hi-hats into the ground, literally. I probably played them for 25 years. They were pretty much a primary set of hi-hats for me. Between that and the Sabian AA 13-inch hats, those two sets of hats were used all the time. I used them on so many gigs. I just switched back and forth. That was my 14-inch hats, and I had the 13-inch hats. I had a set of New Beats originally, but I sold them in the early 90s. I sold them with some other cymbals to some kids. I never really liked the New Beats I had, to be honest. I probably should have kept them. Maybe I'd like them today. It's funny how your ears kind of change over time. But those Rude hi-hats I used a lot. They were even keyholed a little bit from being on the clutch. So I know they got a lot of use, and the white Rude logo is gone from it. I just wore it off playing all over that. The other pair of Paiste hats I have, and I have a few pairs, I've got a set of 15-inch Giant Beats. That's what these are. And I have a set of 14-inch 505 medium hats. that I've had off and on for the last 30-something years. They were my brother's hats. I had them for a while. My friend Scott Hazen got them. He gave them back to me. So I've been using those 14-inch 505s for about the last 5-6 years pretty heavily. And this year I bought a 2000 Sound Edge bottom for that. And I found the sweet spot based on your guys' recommendations, by the way, of putting the bottom hi-hat, okay, from the 505s on top of the 2000 bottom Sound Edge. And they sound about as close to a set of 2002 14-inch hi-hats as I can find. It really has that bite that the 2002s have. So I really love that set, and I've been using them a lot this year. I use them for most of my videos this year, probably more than the Giant Beast, but the Giant Beasts get rotated in there periodically. And I have another set of Paiste hi-hats that are kind of like the rotating set of hats I give to my son-in-law. My son-in-law lives down the street from me, Aaron Knight, and right now he has my KZ hi-hats, my Zildjian KZs, 13-inch, and I gave them to him for his kids to play on the kit that they have at the house, and I took back the 13-inch Dimension light heavy hi-hats. So I have a set of 13-inch light heavies that I use too. But I'm not finding the 13s are really doing anything for me these days, so I don't really use the 13s very often. So they just sit off to the side. But that's my Paiste, hi-hat collection. I've looked at the 15-inch Paiste Sound Edge. I think I'd like to have a set of those, but again, do I need a set? No, don't need a set. I don't need anything in life. I have more than what I ever could want in life. And from drumming perspective, the only reason why I would need another drum kit would be to have something new to play. I haven't really sold snare drums in years or even traded them in years. I've kind of found snares that work for me. I am looking for a Black Beauty, and if I got the right price on a 6.5 by 14 Black Beauty, I would buy it to go with my 5 by 14 Black Beauty that gets a lot of use, and you guys always comment on how much you like the sound of that drum. So that's the other drum. But for me right now, snares, I've got about 5-6 snare drums I use for everything. The Black Beauty, the 5-inch Noble Cooley, solid shell, classics, solid shell drum. This walnut drum, 7 by 14 DMR, the 6.5 by 14 DMR cast aluminum, which is kind of in that beefed up Superphonic land, because it really is a great cast aluminum snare drum. I mean, and any of you guys have played any of the cast aluminum drums, like the Gretsch cast aluminum or the Noble Cooley Alloy Classic drums. I think it's a little different than the Alloy Classic, but it's very much like the DW and the Gretsch cast aluminum drums they've had and put out. Matter of fact, they were made in the same factory that those shells were made. So I happen to know it's pretty much that's the sound, if you're looking for that sound. You can't get the DMR anymore. He only had 5 of those shells that he bought, and he made 5 of those drums and sold them. So I don't know who else has got one. I think one went to Rich Redmond for some reason, of Jason Aldean fame back in that day. But I've never seen Rich play it. Rich has got enough endorsements. He has probably a pile of snare drums. That's all I can tell you. I do know my friend Dan, and if you watch my show, because I'm going to put you in the header, maybe you'll watch the show once in a while. I do know that Matt Sorum from Guns N' Roses, the Cult fame, Matt Sorum, basically has the DMR snare drum you gave him back at the NAMM show in 2011. I need to call you and tell you that. I have it confirmed because my friend Mike Fasano saw the drum and actually showed it to me on a FaceTime. We were FaceTiming together, and he was in his he was in Matt's lockup, because he was using Matt's Cadillac Green Gretsch kit for the Tiger Army tour they did back here in 2019 when I saw Mike touring before COVID. And I actually sat, there's some video of me sitting behind the kit and doing a line check to make sure all the mics were working before they went out and did the show. So Mike didn't have to line check his own drums. He sent me out there and I played a groove, and the sound man got his sounds, and that was it. But those are Matt Sorum's drums. And so Mike had access to Matt's closet, and one day he was in there and he found, I think it was an 8x14 custom painted DMR snare drum, special colors that he made for Matt Sorum. I remember when he made it, Dan made it, brought it to that NAMM show and gave it to him. So I thought that was kind of cool. Matt was one of his favorite drummers, so that's why he did it. But yeah, so Dan, if you watch the show, it's still there, and Matt does have it. I found it. I've confirmed that. I don't know if Rich Redmond still has that snare drum. God only knows. But I know I use that cast aluminum snare drum a lot, so that gets a lot of play. Lately, the covers I've been doing have been calling for the 5s, 5-inch 5x14 snares, so I use them more often than the 6.5 these days. But that 6.5x14 snare drum has been on a lot of studio sessions for people, so that's pretty cool. I had another question. This is the question I didn't know if it was answered or not answered, and this is the question from Windsurf03, which is Brooke. So Brooke's another longtime follower of the channel, and he asked the question, can you discuss your earbuds, and do they provide ear protection? Can you still hear what you're playing? Maybe have a discussion on this before. So I'm not sure if I talked about this or not, but let's talk about the earbuds. The earbuds I use are custom in-ear monitors by 64 Ears, or they were 1964 Ears. I just got a new cord for it. My cord was starting to crap out after basically having them on that cord for probably about 5-6 years straight. The first cord lasted me fine until I shut it in the case the wrong way. Ever since then, I've been very careful with the case. But this one, from being in the studio and being used all the time, the cord started going. I started getting that rattling thing, like losing it halfway through the song. One of the ears was going out. So I sent away for a cord. They're not cheap, but they were the right cord for them, and now they're back to normal, and they sound great again as usual. So the drivers in my ears are great. Can I hear the drums? Yes, I can, but I don't really use the drums acoustically through those ears. I'm getting them mixed into my ears through my monitor mix. So I have some drums in there. I can turn it quite low and hear some of the presence of the drums in the room, and sometimes I do that. But sometimes I like the feel of the drums in there mixed in with the track. Gives me a more realistic sound. So that's one of the things I do. But they are hearing protection from the other sound around you when you're on a stage. Unfortunately, most of the times when I'm playing on a stage with in-ear monitors, I'm in a drum booth at a church. So I don't really need it because I'm already being closed out from DBs of my guitar player friends or bass player friends playing next to me. So that's kind of how that works. But yes, they do cut they cut about 24 to 30 dB of the sound out from there. But when you're piping it back in your ears, you got to be very careful. Your levels, keep your levels at a level that they're not going to give you tinnitus. When you get it done, your ears are ringing and stuff. So I have to be very careful. Sometimes I get a little excited, and I like it a little bit hotter. And as I get older, I tend to put it up a little hotter because my hearing is probably going a little bit. Even though I'm a proponent of hearing protection for practice, I've been using hearing protection forever on practice for solid 30 years probably. I started in the 90s. I remember having it in my brick house. So somewhere definitely by 94, 95, I was using hearing protection all the time. A set of gun muffs. So I think it started before that because I used to work with a guy named Mike Dacey, a guitar player. And Mike Dacey was the loudest stinking guitar player I ever worked with. And I was in safety at that point in time. I knew about those foam earplugs, and I used to have those I would take from work sometimes and roll them up and stick in my ears playing with him because he was so loud in the monitors. It would just blow my ears out. So I used to dial them in there. But then I got a set of gun muffs somewhere in the mid-90s. And I've been practicing with the same set of blue gun muffs for, gosh, it's got to be close to 30 years. If it's not 20, it's probably 27, 28 years I've been using them. So anyhow, that's hearing protection. All right. Last things. Some channel updates. I'm planning on bringing Hanging with the Hammer back, live streams again. I'm just not sure when I'm going to do it. And that's because right now, living life has become really important to me. This Christmas season, Let's back up a little bit. Let's back up to October. Let's back up to August. You started to see me waning off on the Hanging with the Hammers. I was trying to do them once a month. I failed in November. I don't think anybody missed it. I don't think anybody's missing anything right now. Those of you that love this show find this show and you watch it when you watch it, and thank you for watching the show. But I think as far as the channel update goes, those of you that know me know I like to talk to you guys periodically, and I will do it again. It's just a matter of I don't know if I'm going to go for having a regular show or not. But there are some friends and people I like talking to, and I probably will do that again in the future. And that's the reason why I would do Hanging with the Hammers, to actually have some friends on the show, more than just me talking and answering questions. I feel like if you want me to answer your questions, ask a question for Ask Earl Anything. Now, do I want to do this every week? Not really. I like doing it once a month. I hope that works for you. I'll keep trying to continue this show as we go on. This has been a staple show for my channel, and I thank you all that watch. I also plan on doing some more gear-oriented stuff. I'm going to do an update on my Paiste collection. I may do a real video with the sounds of my concert toms once I get them all figured out. And I was thinking about even adding it to this, but I don't think I'm going to. To be honest, it takes a little bit of work to do those kind of production things. Not that I can't do it, and I have methods for doing it, but it's not important right now. I think what is important is that I keep playing drums and keep hanging with you guys, and you guys know I'm still here. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm going to continue making drum covers because I enjoy it. I'm not doing this for the money by any stretch of the imagination. You know, I make a couple bucks from Google each year. Thank you, Google, for sending me money. For me, this is about fun, you know, and it gives me exposure, which is another thing. I'm going to add some links to my description this week, because one of the things I want to tell you is I'm on some projects, some recent projects. I'm going to add some Spotify links, so you guys will have the opportunity to possibly hear some of the work I've done this year. I've done a bunch of gigs with a friend of mine named David Urbanati, who's a really close friend. We're very tight. He's younger. He's a younger dude, but you know, he goes to my church. We're pretty tight. And whenever he needs a drum track, he just basically sends me a file and we do it. And sometimes he comes down here, and I've done, I don't know, probably close to 10 drum tracks for him over the years. You know, we've worked on a couple small projects together. We've done stuff with the church project called Paradise Hymns. But I basically want you guys to hear that I do other things, is what I'm saying. It's like, that's kind of what I do for fun, is doing recording. So this year I've got some new tracks out. One is a Christmas song. I'm not going to do a cover of me doing this Christmas song because it's pretty much just a pocket groove. Nothing fancy. But I did another song called Skate, which is about David's journey to breaking his ankle, on a skateboard, which is a very interesting, fun song that I got to play on. And there's a whole lot of stuff. So I want to introduce you to David's music. I have another person I've been working with, which is the other co-writer of the Christmas song, named Emily Blaylock. And Emily goes to my church too. I've played with her, and she's led worship and plays bass and other things. She's written a couple songs, more rocky type songs. When they come out, I'll be sharing them with you. I don't know if one of them may have come out. I'm not sure. And the other one is my friend Danny Brunges, who's the worship leader at the church. He just put an album out. I think he's releasing it one song at a time. So the song that came out this week didn't have me on it. I'm only on 2 of them. But one song I'm playing brushes, another song I'm playing sticks with Tom, the Tom kind of stuff, and that stuff. So some more stuff. So there's a lot of music with me playing on this year that's out there. And as it comes out and I can share it, I'll try to share it with you all. But doing studio stuff is really important. And another special project that I'm going to be working on in the new year is my son Matt's song that he wrote before he passed away that never got recorded. And it's a pretty heavy-duty song. We actually played it at his memorial service. We started working on scratch track of it, and it's getting the right cast of people to play on it. But David's going to help me on it. I have another friend, Chris Wood's going to play guitar on it. Hopefully my friend Steve Matuku is going to play bass and maybe some guitar. I'm not sure. Danny Brunges will probably be involved. There's people I got to get involved. My son-in-law Aaron's going to be involved, and I hope to film some of it. So when we do it, I have a video with the song to put on my channel. So that's my hope. But that probably, don't be looking for that for, the fastest would be 3 months, and probably realistically we're looking sometime late into next year. Unless all the stars align and we really nail a track quickly and I start building it fast and it just comes together, which could happen, and I'll keep you updated on that. Other channel news, that's it pretty much. I'm going to keep putting out some covers when I feel like it. I got some Christmas covers coming up. Keep having fun. Hopefully, maybe I'll do some interviews next year. I don't know. I'd like to get into that game. I appreciate you all. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share if you want to. I try to watch your videos and comment when I see them. Those of you that have video channels. All I can say is happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, or whatever you're celebrating this holiday season. Thank you for watching my channel. And there'll be more to come in 2022. Can you believe it? I think it's my officially fifth year of doing YouTube. So, thank you all for watching. Take care. Remember, your questions make the show. Without your questions, I don't have a show. And that's literally true, because I don't think I'm going to do another show until I get some questions. So please ask questions. All right? Take care, everybody. And have a Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.